Welcome to the Midnight Basement, the podcast that takes you on a journey through some of the most shocking and heinous crimes of the 1980s. Join us as we delve deep into the dark and seedy underbelly of the decade, exploring the twisted minds of killers and criminals who left a trail of terror in their wake. From the infamous serial killers who haunted the highways and byways of America to the cult leaders who brainwashed their followers into committing unspeakable acts, the Midnight Basement leaves no stone unturned in its quest for truth and justice. Each week, we'll take you on a journey through a different case, weaving together interviews, archival footage, and expert analysis to paint a vivid picture of the crimes and their aftermath, with a focus on the victims and their families. The Midnight Basement is a sobering reminder of the darkest corners of human nature. So buckle up, dear listener, and get ready for a chilling journey through the crimes of the 1980s. From the crack epidemic to the rise of the satanic panic, this is the decade that changed everything, and we're here to tell its most terrifying tales. John Riccardi was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1960. He was the youngest of 4 siblings, and his parents struggled to make ends meet. Despite their financial struggles, they instilled in John a strong work ethic and encouraged him to pursue his dreams. From an early age, John was interested in sports and fitness. He excelled at baseball and football, but it was weightlifting that captured his imagination. By the time he reached high school, John was already a competitive bodybuilder. After high school, John moved to Southern California to pursue his passion for bodybuilding. It was there that he met Connie Navarro, a successful businesswoman who was immediately drawn to John's good looks and impressive physique. The couple hit it off and began dating, but it wasn't long before problems arose. John became increasingly possessive and jealous, often accusing Connie of flirting with other men. He would show up unannounced at her office or home and demand to know where she had been and who she had been with. Despite Connie's attempts to reason with John and convince him that there was nothing to worry about, his jealousy only grew worse. The couple began to fight more often, and Connie eventually broke things off. However, John was not willing to let go. He continued to call Connie, show up at her home uninvited, and send her letters and gifts. At first, Connie tried to be polite and understanding, but when John's behavior became increasingly erratic and threatening, she sought a restraining order against him. The restraining order only served to make John more angry and obsessed. He began to follow Connie everywhere she went, waiting for her outside her office and even showing up at her gym. On the evening of August 1st, 1983, John showed up at Connie's house unannounced. She was initially hesitant to let him in, but John was persistent, and she eventually relented. Once inside, John began to argue with Connie, accusing her of cheating on him and lying to him. The argument turned violent, and John pulled out a gun, shooting Connie multiple times. John fled the scene and went into hiding. Connie's family reported her missing, and the police launched a massive search. However, her body was not found until several weeks later, when a hiker stumbled upon her remains in a remote area of the Angeles National Forest. The discovery of Connie's body shocked the community and triggered a major investigation. Despite the evidence pointing towards John as the culprit, he managed to evade capture for several years. He even appeared on the television show America's Most Wanted, but he was not apprehended until 1997 when he was found living under a fake name in Mexico. John was extradited to the United States and charged with Connie's murder. In court, it was revealed that he had planned the killing for weeks and had even purchased a gun specifically for the crime. He was ultimately found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The murder of Connie Navarro was a tragic and senseless act of violence that shocked the community. It also highlighted the dangers of domestic violence and the need for better measures to protect victims. Connie's family and friends will never forget her, and her memory lives on as a reminder of the importance of standing up against violence and abuse.